Okay, so I'm going to talk about what's happened to me and the harm that alcohol can do and what alcohol addiction has done to me. No slides, just me speaking about how I became a different person to whom I had been, and a stranger who people didn't like very much. I've been seeing my GP over time for many minor illnesses and injuries, skin disorders, night sweats, slight trembling, horrible clumsy accidents, and mild memory loss. I was lucky. I saw the same GP every time. She linked together all of the problems that I'd seen her about separately and asked me whether I thought I might have an alcohol problem. I said, absolutely not. Actually, she'd asked me before on several occasions how much I drank, and I'd always hugely lied. But I guess you can't pretend forever. And one day, when she asked, I agreed it just might be possible that alcohol was involved, although I still didn't tell her how much I drank on a daily basis. With my agreement, she then referred me to an alcohol treatment centre. And there, for the first time in my life, I answered the question honestly as to how much I drank. When asked what my goal was, I replied, controlled drinking. The lead clinician, who's a psychiatrist, said he didn't think that would be possible given the amount I drank and the length of time I'd been drinking at that level. But what did he know? I insisted it was controlled drinking or nothing, and so he agreed I could try it. Remember that you can't force a patient to do what you want them to do if they don't want to. I was given a key worker to see once a week and a daily alcohol sheet to fill in. I really did try, and after 6 months I'd cut down a lot. I thanked everyone and I said I was now ready to leave. The surprising response was, no, you're not ready yet. But I went ahead, thanked them and discharged myself. That was a big mistake. My controlled drinking lasted for about 3 months and then I was back to my old drinking ways, but much, much worse than before. Let me gloss over the next several alcohol-fueled years because they weren't my finest. The awful things that happened to me and what I did. I often ended up sleeping in the streets and I was hospitalised many times. To be honest, it's only recently that my husband has spoken out about what those years did to him and what he had to cope with. It took me 5 long, self-destructive years before I had the ability and the courage to go back to my now different GP and ask her to refer me back to the same treatment centre, which she did. Unbelievably, it was mostly the same team there that I had seen before. I was in a very bad way and I begged for help. I knew there was no alternative but to detox, as my drinking was now causing untold misery and damage to myself and others. There's no time to describe my detox here, except to say it was one of the most difficult and unpleasant things I've ever done. My final battle was to insist I detoxed at home, as the treatment centre said I must detox in-house, which I refused to do. In fact, they were probably right, as this home detox was incredibly hard and also meant that I had to manage the journey on the tube to the centre to be checked out and questioned soon after the detox started, and it was very eventful getting there. During this time, something amazing happened. Towards the end of the time under medication, I bought a newspaper from a stand on Oxford Street. The seller had actually understood me when I'd explained what I wanted, and this was normal interaction, which for me was such progress. My treatment at the centre may have been extraordinarily difficult, but it was excellent. I saw the lead clinician a few times during my treatment, and he was always helpful and straightforward. Mind you, he was sometimes very hard on me too, but actually it was what I needed and could cope with. A doctor must be able to sum up their patient. No 2 patients are the same, and all need different handling. After detoxing, I attended a relapse prevention course at the centre with others who were at the same stage. The meetings were invaluable, as the temptation to relapse is very strong. Following that, I then started attending a supervised monthly aftercare session at the same treatment centre with other patients. And that was incredibly supportive and useful, as we could all talk about our issues and, with the help of a trained facilitator, try to resolve any problems. Unfortunately, 2 of the people attending these meetings relapsed and died, and that was very upsetting. Then the centre lost its bid for funding and had to close down. A huge shock, and my lifeline was gone. Luckily, I managed to find another London alcohol treatment centre, which runs supervised monthly aftercare sessions. But after a time, this too closed down for funding reasons. It was now very difficult to find support, but eventually I found another centre, although it treated both alcohol and drugs. Personally, I honestly don't think these two substances should be treated together, but it seemed better than nothing at all, and it was good to have monthly meetings once more with people who were in recovery. After a time, this centre, focusing on both alcohol and drugs, really wasn't working for me, and so I left, which is where I am today, desperately searching for somewhere with an alcohol aftercare service which will support me. Just once a month would be okay, but it seems impossible to find now. It's a tragedy that alcohol care no longer seems to be available. I really don't understand it, as it does help, and if a person relapses and goes back to square one, the costs involved are surely far greater than the cost of providing aftercare. I would so appreciate some help to remain abstinent, as the pull and attraction of alcohol is still very much there. Looking back, probably the most important effect to me that alcohol abuse had was the change to my mind, although the physical consequences were bad enough. As you drink alcohol, your mind works less efficiently, and the power of reasoning and understanding diminishes. You really don't know what's going on around you. That effect is multiplied when you're addicted, and the only important thing is having more alcohol. The idea that you may not have access to alcohol is crippling, so you don't want to put down your glass or bottle, as you can only feel secure when you're holding them. In fact, one of the most gratifying aspects of being sober is that I can enjoy using my mind again. But things aren't the same. I'm not the same. I want to drink, share a bottle with my friends. However, my mind is very precious to me, and being able to think, analyse and communicate again is great. I just hope the good things last, and I'll do the best I can. So fingers crossed.